You're listening to the Creative Capital Podcast. You're dying to learn about how you can create wealth through real estate investing? Then you come to the right place. Join in every week as we go over the ins and outs of real estate investing and learn how you too can become financially free. What is going on, everybody? This is Josh Ferrari, host of the Creative Capital Podcast, and I am stoked about today because we brought on a good friend of mine at this point, but he's also my digital marketing manager, kind of my marketing manager. He's created my marketing machine. He's amazing with ActiveCampaign. He's amazing with funnels. He's amazing with the copywriting. He's basically just amazing with everything. And he's hilarious. Every time I talk to this guy, I can get a good laugh. I can learn something new, and I really feel like we are connecting on a more personal level, even more so than just talking about marketing or talking about finances or talking about how something's going to work. So great guy. I'm super stoked that we were able to get him on today. And I wanted to discuss real quick just some of the things that we went over to kind of get you hyped, get you ready, get you excited for this show, because I don't want you guys to miss it. I don't want you to see that this is about digital marketing and that it might not be specific to real estate, but when you incorporate it inside of your real estate investing business, guys, I have incorporated it inside of my real estate investing business, and it's been phenomenal. It's been pivotal. I mean, if I was just to go back when we were recording this, it's in late April, early May. And if I was to go back just 4 months ago, before I had hired Jason, before I had started incorporating a CRM and really tried to create a lot of these systems and processes, I was getting, let's say, anywhere between 5 to 6 or 7 new investor leads or folks interested in learning more about me from, say, a broker perspective or from a lending perspective, or anything of the sort, folks wanting to learn more about me and get on the phone with me. That's roughly what I was getting. Now that I've begun incorporating the marketing strategy, the Calendly, the sales message, the Zendirect, the thank you notes, the communications, the emails, all of these different things we've begun really diving into and creating, I am now getting roughly 50 to 80 new leads per month from lenders, from investors, from potential investors, from brokers, from, folks sending us new deals, potential GP partners. All of these different people and leads are now rolling into me because I have this digital marketing strategy set up. And I don't want you guys to miss out on what's possible for you and your business by skimming over this show. I want you guys to definitely listen in to this show. So we go over CRMs, we go over what the heck that even is, how you can really incorporate that into your business, and then what maybe a really good CRM is to even use, and what that, first of all, what it is, but then where you can find one and how you can begin incorporating that into your business. We go over some really interesting strategies and tools, some of the things that I had just mentioned with the sales message, Zendirect, creating videos, and touching on that logic, emotion, and urgency side. And he really drops a lot of golden nuggets of information deep into the, I guess you could say, psyche of an individual that will help you not only create a stronger relationship with the individual, but also get the most value out of that person, as well as you able to provide the most value out of that person from either creating a more genuine connection or staying in touch with that individual more, or being able to provide a seriously valuable opportunity. Since we're in real estate, you're able to provide a seriously valuable investment opportunity because you're using some of these strategies, you're using some of these techniques. And so super, guys, just with that said, just super stoked about this show, about this episode. Cannot wait for you guys to hear it. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the show. Jason, my man, how are you doing today? So excited to have you out on the show with us this morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. And I feel like we're basically best friends without ever having met each other in person. And the reason behind that is, for all the listeners out there, I don't want to say digital marketing because it wasn't necessarily marketing, but digital. The digital era, electronics. I think we use Loom a lot, create videos, and I'm always hysterically laughing and learning. And I don't know if you're laughing and learning, but something's happening on your end. So, Jason, for those out there that don't know you the way that I know you, tell us a little bit about you, and then what really got you interested in diving into digital marketing?
A little bit about me. Let's see, which route do I want to go? So I'll tell you how I kind of ended up here working online for myself full time. How's that sound?
Yeah, perfect.
So I didn't realize this about myself, but apparently I don't like people telling me what to do. It took me a while to figure that out. Apparently, being able to own my process creatively is very important to me. So about 7 years into corporate America, I realized like, hey, I don't want to do this. I want control over my time. I want control over how much money I can make. Like I want to do something online. Lots of people are making money online. There's a lot of ways to make money, but how do I do it? So I started this business, made no money for 6 months at all. Actually lost money every month. My wife loved that. Eventually, I convinced my wife to let me quit my job. And if you knew my wife, you would know that like she's not a risk taker. She's not an entrepreneur. She's like, no, I want you to do the safe thing, that work for somebody thing, which we now laugh at because we know one stream of income is not safe, right? All of your listeners probably agree with me there. So I convinced her to let me quit my job and start these neighborhood magazines. Got her real excited about the possibility and quit my job. And she was behind me, went and bought a brand new luxury car, which was a big mistake number two. And then, blew through my savings in 2 months. And I was like, hey, times are getting tough and I don't want to do this. So I think we're screwed. So I got us into a really, really bad spot financially. Had to beg an aunt to help me buy groceries and keep my house basically. But what I did is I learned a lot about myself and who I was in that struggle. And I recommend to anybody, if you want to be a fierce entrepreneur, struggle as much as you can, as weird as that sounds, because the people that get stuff handed to them, they just don't have the same grit. They don't have the same fight. So there's just no way around it. But anyway, I started writing online for money, right? I started doing SEO, like writing for money. People would give me like parameters to work with. It's really boring, but I was decent at it. I started doing a little bit of copywriting and some blogs. And I was like, I don't want to build a business doing this, but I am kind of interested in sharing my message, which is like, hey, quit the 9 to 5. Hey, invest in real estate. Hey, do this, do something for yourself to make money. Right. So I encourage people to quit the 9 to 5 and hadn't done so myself. And I was like, am I a hypocrite or am I just speaking it into existence? So I learned a little bit about marketing for the purposes of trying to get my blog message out there in front of more people. And I was on Upwork one day looking for another boring writing job I didn't really want. And I started noticing people were looking to hire somebody to do the stuff I had just learned for myself. I was like, ClickFunnels. I know ClickFunnels. I just built a funnel. Hey, ActiveCampaign. I can send some emails. I just did this for myself. So I started dabbling in it because I saw an opportunity that I was learning. And I was upfront with people. I'd be like, hey, Josh, I kind of know what you want. I'm learning, but I'll figure it out and get it done. So people would hire me. So I kind of looked at it as paid training. And then over time, so that was, 5.5 years ago, over time, I've niched it down into the stuff that I really like to do and I'm really good at. So that story tells you a little bit about me as a person and a little bit about my background as an entrepreneur. By the way, I had to go back to corporate America. And then the second time I quit, I've stayed out. So we're out for good now. But
Oh man, I'm sure that was a tough pill to swallow when you realized I have to go back to corporate America. I am
Well,
not
you know what?
making.
You know what's crazy about it? This is what's jacked up about the nature of people, right? You have some people rooting for you, but for whatever reason, with my experience, most didn't. Most were rooting against me. They were like, "Ah, I told you so," and I was like, "Why would you be happy that I'm failing?" Like neighbors, family, friends, like what's going on here? And I would kind of laugh. And the quote from Frank Sinatra that always stuck with me is the best revenge is massive success, right? So if you want to lose a bet, bet against me. That's for anybody. Bet against me. If you tell me I can't do something, you're going to lose. I absolutely promise you. I'm either going to accomplish it or die trying. So my motivation was, I'm going to go back. I'm going to sell cars. I'm going to sell publishing packages, sell mortgages, do the things I did. And every second I'm not in that job, I'm building my business. So I had to commute 2 hours a day. I was taking business calls in the car. I was closing deals on my lunch break, closing deals in the bathroom. No joke. I was always working on my business, even at the other job when I wasn't on the floor. And they knew it. And they were like, do your thing, man. I had no life for 2.5 years. And neighbors would be like, how you doing? You okay? I'm like, hey, you worry about you. I'm still here. I haven't missed any mortgage payments. We're good. Like, don't worry about it. Nobody asks me those questions anymore. My neighbors that like go work for somebody, they don't ever ask me how things are going because people just don't. I don't know. Some people just love they love talking to you and they think you're struggling. And when they don't think, they don't want to talk anymore. It's just a really interesting lesson to learn about people. Not all people are that way, but I was surprised to find many more were than I would have expected for sure.
Very interesting. Jason, I feel like we could spend a whole 2 episodes just talking about entrepreneurship and
Yep.
hustle and grinding and really mindset creation. But I really wanted to dive today into the secrets, because I know you got some secrets of digital marketing, being that that is your area of expertise. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to go ahead and ask you, why should I use digital marketing? What is that? I know that you're not necessarily in real estate investing specific, and most, if not all, of my listeners love real estate investing. So how could we relate the use of digital marketing to that? And then what exactly even is a CRM?
Yeah. So digital marketing is a beautiful thing because here's a secret for marketing. Don't think about it as trying to convince people to buy stuff. Think about it as building relationships. That's all it is. So marketing for me is more about human psychology. That's like the ultimate chess match, right? Trying to figure out what people are going to do. And when they don't do what you think, that's what makes it interesting. It's like, wait, why are they doing that? So people make it interesting. If you think about your marketing, like building relationship and maintaining relationship and growing that relationship, it becomes much easier. I've worked with other people in your world. So real estate investing is a great area of focus for digital marketing. Automations and things like that, they don't forget, right? If you set things up properly, you can get notifications timely and get reminders timely. You can nurture new other investor prospects in a timely fashion. And there's endless ways to do it, right? Ringless voicemails, two-way text, social media, Facebook ads, email, it just goes on and on. So it's a way to get more out of your time, right? There's nothing better than when you are personally doing something else, a barbecue, sleep, golf, whatever it may be, in your business, automations are still working for you, right? Answering questions, getting people on that webinar, whatever the case may be. So it allows you to be very, very efficient and very, very consistent with your marketing if it's set up properly. And the question about the CRM, let me answer that for you as well.
Yeah.
So for the people listening, a CRM is a customer relationship management software, and it's basically a way for you to remember what you talked to somebody about in the past. How embarrassing if you had a great conversation with somebody 6 months ago, and then they talk to you again, and you're like, who are you? It's not going to be a good impression. And if you're running your business on legal pads and Post-it notes, it's going to happen to you because you're human and you're not going to remember everything. A CRM allows you to log the interactions you've had or not had with your contacts through their digital journey in your world.
I love that explanation, because that has happened to me on more than one occasion where I've had a conversation with someone, or even a conversation with their coworker or their best friend or something. Yeah. And I won't remember the coworker or the best friend. Like, hey, you talked to this person last week or last month, and they recommended you, said you were amazing. And I'm like, I'm quickly trying to scroll through and be like, wait, who is this person? What are we talking about? You're like, oh yeah, I remember that person. So I fully agree that CRM is massive from a standpoint of needing to remember and create long-lasting relationships with people, but also to overall grow the business. Because like you said, it is something that you're going to forget very easily. So real quick overview question here before we really dive into some of the meat of this. what do you feel truly sets apart businesses who do and don't use digital marketing in their overall kind of business plan?
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest areas where people miss opportunities is that new lead and nurture, right? Whatever the business is, when you have somebody who's potentially interested in what you do and you don't handle that first impression properly and you don't handle that time sensitive follow up properly, you miss a ton of opportunity. So you can build a successful business and do all that wrong, but you're going to make a lot less money than you should. So the people that do it well with automation have much more consistent experiences with their new leads. They close more leads because they get more opportunities, right? If you can't get somebody on the phone or you can't have a conversation, it's gonna be pretty hard to invite them into whatever you're doing, whatever your deal is or what have you. So it just makes for a much more consistent experience. And the people that operate at a really high level, do these fundamental things quite well.
I've even heard some negative feedback from folks on using processes and systems around kind of that customer relation, that investor relation side of it, saying that, oh, well, you're creating this automation or this whatever, so suddenly you're not authentic. Suddenly you're not being authentic with your investors. And I'm like, that's so far from the truth, because really what you're doing is you're continuing to stay in touch with that individual, which creates authenticity, which creates genuineness and creates a stronger connection. They were thinking that you've suddenly turned them into like a number on a spreadsheet. And so you're like beat boop bopping them along the program and just trying to, I don't know, extrapolate some money out of their pockets without ever having a conversation with them. But I had to really explain to them that it's just to help you more than anything than it is to help anybody, because you're not going to remember, and your partners probably aren't going to remember, your employees aren't going to remember. That you could give this task to anyone and that one person is not going to remember. So I think having this behind you helps out a lot.
Well, and touch points, not only they build a relationship, but they create sales as well. And what I would tell that person, just based on how you worded that, is if you're writing in a way that's not the way you speak, it's not going to feel authentic. If you write corporate speak, as I call it, nobody likes that crap. Nobody opens a corporate style email and goes, man, that was really fun to read. If they say that, they're lying or they're being sarcastic. If you write the exact same way you speak, you will have much better success and you will find it easier to do so, because it's not hard. Anybody can write the way they speak. It's conversational, it's authentic. But when you start coming across in a voice in your words that isn't really the way you talk, and people know that, it's a huge turnoff. It's like, who is he today? On Tuesdays, he's somebody else. I can't keep up. I'm not interested anymore. So keep it simple.
I love that you mentioned that, because I think copywriting is a massive piece of any marketing strategy, really.
It is.
And so you're making it out to be like literally all you have to do is be yourself, and you
Correct.
you don't need to hire a copywriter or do anything crazy. I mean, expound on that a little bit. What do you really think an individual who has zero experience in copywriting, zero experience in marketing,
Yeah.
what do they need to do, or what mindset do they need to achieve in order to be successful in the digital marketing world?
Yeah, I think a big piece of that is, I mean, I've seen plenty of copywriters that are, really highly paid, and I look at their work and I'm like, I hate it. I don't like the way the stuff's written. It doesn't resonate with me, right? And obviously you're trying to resonate with the people that are reading it. So step one is, like I say, be yourself and understand that in marketing, it's just take marketing out of it. Understand in people, there's three areas you can tap into to generate a response, right? The biggest is emotion. An emotional response, like in your world, you're trying to bring people into a program or something, you can talk about freedom, right? Freedom with your time, freedom with your money. If people are struggling to make ends meet, you're going to probably get their attention pretty quickly. So an emotional focused message will get a lot of people to take action and respond. So that's a piece of your marketing strategy, emotional. The next piece is logical, right? Some people will buy with emotion and justify their decision with logic, right? Some people never buy with emotion and they only buy with logic. And the final piece is fear of missing out or urgency, right? Hey, this deal goes away in 24 hours. Like, you can't stop the clock. So those are really the three areas of marketing that any message is focused around. And if you think about that and you think about, okay, is this an appropriate time to use emotion? Emotion's used pretty heavily in stuff. It's very effective. My favorite way of selling is urgency. right? Fear of missing out or urgency. Hey, this program, I take 10 people, and don't use false urgency. There's no quicker way to destroy your reputation than be a liar, right? And a lot of marketers have that reputation, but urgency is a big deal. Hey, I only have time to do X amount. This deal is only open so long. It's very, very, very powerful, especially with higher ticket type stuff. So keep that in mind and hope it helps everybody listening and watching.
Okay. I like what you mentioned there with the emotion, the logic, and the urgency, but I think I really wanted to dive into the conversation of it all, as far as maybe when you are texting someone or when you are emailing someone, or you're trying to create an email to send to someone, some automation that you're really trying to hit on all fronts, and you can't, I guess it has to be more broad term, or maybe you could include urgency, emotion, and logic. I don't know. I wanted to get your thoughts on what does the copywriting need to look like from, say, an email marketing perspective?
Yeah, I mean, one thing to think about is who are you sending this email to, and what would you say to them if they were sitting right in front of you? It's an easy thing to do because it's like, do I really speak like this? Am I really going to come into it with this? It just makes it easier. Storytelling is a big part of writing emails or anything. It makes it easy. Big part of writing a landing page is tell a story. You hit them with a hook, you give them a story, and there's some kind of an offer. And sometimes the offer is sign up for my email list or jump on this call. It can be small little movements towards that bigger purchase in the future. So I think it's a lot simpler than people think it is, like a lot simpler. Yep.
Yeah. I found out working with you that it is a lot simpler, and creating copy for something takes a little bit of time. Yes, but it's not like rocket science. It's just like you said.
Not when you're yourself. When you try to be somebody you're not, it's very difficult because you're like, I don't know how to do this. You're trying to put your mind in the space it's never been because it's not you.
Absolutely. So Jason, I got to know, where does your inspiration come from when you continue to think of new creative strategies inside of digital marketing? Because there's only so many strategies, and most everyone knows all of the strategies. They just might not be implementing them. So where are you like coming up with these new creative ideas? Where's that inspiration coming from?
I mean, I think part of it is that I don't work with one specific niche of clients. I work with a wide niche, and they're physical product, digital products, services. It's a wide range of things. So it's neat to see what works in one industry and say, how can I map this over into this other industry and see how things work there? So there's always that need to try to deliver value to clients. What's interesting about the market, and the market's just the people we'll target, changes all the time, right? Politics, weather, time of year, all kinds of stuff affects the people. And you're never going to see it. You're just going to have to use your head and say, what's bothering me? What's bothering people I know? And that stuff can be distracting. So sometimes things in marketing that have worked forever can stop working, right? And they may never work again in the very same way. So you have to understand that we're shooting at a moving target here, so to speak, but at the same time, it's just people, and we're trying to grab their attention, hold it, and exchange value and nurture those relationships. So I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. And the biggest motivator is kind of that human psychology piece between, who I'm helping and who I'm helping them try to reach and stay in front of.
Okay. I like that. I like that you mentioned that it's a moving target.
Yep.
So with that in mind, with the fact that it is a moving target,
Yep.
how often would you say that we need to continue updating our marketing? Once we create some automations, some email campaigns, some text message things, how often do you really think that it's smart, I guess you could say, to go in there and tweak a few things or completely revamp the strategy completely?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. If you think of the top of the funnel and you think about like paid ads as an example, paid ads degrade all the time. Sometimes paid ads can work for a few days. Sometimes they can work for a few months. A lot of times it's in between the two. So in that example, digital marketing changes all the time. When you're looking at like your landing page for your copy on your landing pages and your funnels, your website, review it every 6 months to a year and just say, does this still make sense? Have we pivoted in our journey at all? Because what you'll find is sometimes where the business was when you wrote this stuff isn't where it is now. And that's okay. I've probably pivoted 4 or 5 times in the last 5 years just as I've wanted to, as I've seen different opportunities. And sometimes I'll review like my welcome series of emails and say, yeah, half of this is still right. The other half, we don't really want to focus on that. So let's retweak that a little bit. So just at the beginning of this year, I went through all of my emails and all of my back end stuff. And I thought I had a little bit of work. I actually spent a couple months updating things, but I generally give things a really good look over about once a year just to make sure everything that I'm promoting actually still exists. There's nothing worse than selling a program that no longer exists. Oops, how'd you find that? So it happens. But yeah, just paying attention and making sure, if the business pivots, for sure, you want to go through everything there for sure.
Someone's buying something and you're like, we don't even do that anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you got to ask them, how'd you find that landing page? I deleted that, I thought. So,
oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So moving forward a little bit deeper into, I guess, your specific strategy, what you've seen work, and maybe not even your specific, but just with the knowledge you have from the different industries that you're able to support and have visibility in.
Yeah.
What are some digital marketing strategies that you use or that you see to really be able to, quote unquote, close the sale with a potential client or with a potential investor?
So are we talking about my business or just like general, because we're touching on a few different things, marketing and selling are cousins, but they're not the same thing.
I don't know, whatever you want to talk about. We'll say we're talking about your business specifically, but then also pick a random client, pick me, for instance. And what do you think is a good marketing strategy that helps close the sale?
So I'm a big fan. A good question. I'm a big fan. I tell people this all the time. Any business that you're in, if there's any kind of a call involved, which I think for the investors, there probably would be, right? Maybe not necessarily, but I would imagine I would always advise you, always go on video, right? I like Zoom. Even if they're dark, which they are 50% of the time with me, always go on video. And the reason I say that is because even though you can't see them, they're watching you. And they're going to decide in that first minute, is this person full of crap or not? Do I believe them? Do I believe they're going to steal my money? Or are they going to actually invest in this thing they're talking about? So they're reading you, watching you, probably watching you more than they're even listening to you and figuring out, do I even trust this person? So that's really important. And that's going to help you close more deals. And number two, have some kind of an automated plan in place that after you present your options to them, whatever they may look like, right? $25,000 buy-in, and this is what you get over time. You sent me an email like that the other day, and I was trying to act like I understood it. I was like, I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but I want in. So my wife's like, keep working, we'll get in. So anyway, having an automated follow-up for me, it's a mix of text and email, because those touch points will close deals for you, right? If somebody has the money and they're willing to invest, but they're not 100% in, it might just need a little bit of time to think about it. But if you don't keep touching them, they will forget about you and go buy a Corvette or put it up their nostril or something else crazy, right? Money burns a hole in people's pocket. Too far? Too far. I've gone too far. Anyway, the automation after the offer is pitched is absolutely huge. That'll make you more sales too.
When you say automation after it's pitched, is that automation from what you're stating from a video perspective, like create a set of videos to go ahead and distribute, or what you just mean the touch points after that?
Yeah. So in my world, my pipeline's pretty simple. It's get them on a call, right? Once I get them on a call, it's 20 minutes to figure out, can I help you with what you want to do? And do I want to work with you? Is it a good fit, really? You know what I mean? So on that call, sometimes I'll pitch an offer if it makes sense, or I'll step away and make a video with what I think they need. And then here's the price and the timeline, that type of thing. And then after I give them that, if they don't say I'm in right now, I need to nurture them to get a yes or a no out of them. So I'm going to nurture them with email and text and try to get that verbal commitment. And if they say, yes, I'm in, I want you to pay the invoice now, right? And if they don't pay the invoice, there's another automation that said, hey, you said you were in, what's your problem? You know what I mean? Let's get this thing done. So that's what I'm talking about. But the place that people will lose most of their opportunities is after they've pitched whatever the offer is, then what? Most people, oh, yeah, we'll be in touch. You never talk to them again. So you've got to have some way to keep touching them. Touch points make sales.
Love it. I hope everyone should really just rewind the last 5 to 10 minutes, listen to it again and again, and rewind that nostril part. Just put it in their nostrils. No, I'm just kidding. That was great though. And I began implementing that a lot in my own business with the help of you letting me know what I needed to do, and then realizing that this makes a ton of sense. This is what I'm seeing other folks do. This is what you've seen work. And now that I've been implementing it, it's what I'm starting to see work. And then same thing with the video aspect. We do videos every month and now every week on some of the deals that we're doing for continued communications with investors. And then sometimes we do videos on social media just to talk about whatever. And that just builds like almost immediate rapport there. Then we're doing the video now with this podcast, and that's going to go on YouTube. So folks are actually getting to see that. Like, I think exactly what you're saying is extremely important. And I don't want people to just glaze over it and be like, oh, whatever, video. I'm uncomfortable doing video.
Good.
I can't.
You're uncomfortable, do it.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. You know, you say you want to grow your business, investors, do something about it. You should squirm around like a catfish on a hot sidewalk because you're so uncomfortable. Do it until it becomes so comfortable you can be on video all day. You will make more money being on video. That's my personal guarantee.
Boom. Mind blown, guys. All right. Next question, Jason. What is the most powerful tool you believe that you have or have seen inside of the digital marketing strategy? And if it's videos, then we'll just move on to the next question. But if it's something else, then I and the listeners would love to find out what that is.
It's really a piece of perspective for you. And I was having a conversation, really short story, but I'll circle back and tie it together. A buddy of mine lives in India, great dude's talking to him the other day. I said, hey man, how's your month going? So guy's been in it for 2 years trying to build a business, no success. Guy's making no money. He's like, I'm going to do like $7,000 this month. And I'm like, whoa, what's different about this month? He said, I figured out where my value's at, right? And I was like, okay, so wherever that line is, where you're having success, where have you been up to that point? He said, right next to it. I said, so there's a thin line between success and failure. He said, absolutely. I just made this one tiny tweak, started closing deals like crazy. So my point is, with your marketing, you may get really frustrated trying things that you are positive are going to work and they don't work. But remember, there is a very thin line between success and failure. And sometimes the difference is not the thing you would expect. Be like, that's what's working. So it could be getting in front of a slightly different audience. It could be positioning the front end offer just a little bit differently. So I want you to know that a lot of things that you will test may break your heart, right? Don't make emotional decisions with your marketing. Make data-driven decisions. So there's a very thin line between success and failure.
KPIs, tracking them key performance indicators. I love that. I've tried to make that a key pivotal thing that I do over the last just 6 months, even down to like the smallest thing. Like I wake up every morning and do what I call my miracle morning routine. And I track how much sleep did I get last night? When, what time did I wake up? What am I thankful for today? Tracking being thankful. And then what is my goal for this week? What is my goal for today? What do I need to do right now to accomplish my goal for this week? And like tracking those things. I think everything that you track is typically something that you truly care about, and is something that you'll see continued growth and success from tracking. So I like that you mentioned that.
Consistency over content, baby. Absolutely. Seriously.
All right, Jason. Now I know that you are a consulting agency professional, whatever the word is, for ActiveCampaign. So you might be a little biased, but would you say that ActiveCampaign is the best CRM out there for any business owner and or real estate investment individual?
I will just sidestep that question altogether and say it is a great tool that is user-friendly and very, very powerful. Now, is it the best thing for a company with 100,000 people? Probably not. But for the average and above average entrepreneur, is it a fantastic tool for what we're talking about? Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
I'm not a one-size-fits-all guy for anything, so that's why I sidestepped your question.
What about hats? Are you one size fits all for hats?
I got to go with the big size. I got a big head. I don't even have hair left, so if I still had the afro I had in the early 80s or late 80s, probably wouldn't be able to wear them.
Woo. Oh, that's great. All right. What are some other digital marketing tools? And what I mean by tools is, in my business, the way you've helped me is with things like sales message, the two-way texting. We've started incorporating some things like Zendirect. There's like thank you card company, things of that nature. What are some outside, I don't know, platforms, I guess, that you have seen be successful with not even, real estate specific, but just that I guess it kind of goes back to maybe that continued touch point and maybe also some of that automation. What have you seen really work for folks?
Yeah. One platform that's so inexpensive, that's so powerful is Calendly, right? They've got a free plan. If you don't have some kind of a Calendly or schedule once, you look like a chump. I mean, you just do. You don't need to be firing emails back and forth to schedule a call. Here's the secret, right? Set up limited availability. Even if you're available 24/7, don't let people know that. I'm available 2 days a week. These are my times. Well, I need to work on Wednesday. The schedule says Tuesday or Thursday. Pick a Tuesday or Thursday. People will instantly respect you a whole lot more. So that urgency thing, the less available you are, the more they want you. It's not a joke. It actually works, right? So using a tool like Calendly has a feature in the fancy plan, which is $15 a month, that is called workflows, and it is their version of automation. So what you can do is after a call, you can automatically text somebody a thank you, one-way text from Calendly, thanks for your time. And you can start doing those touch points just through that calendar booking software. Integrates nicely with Google Calendar, some things like that. If I could afford like one tool, I would start with Gmail and Calendly and build my business that way. Because I know if I can get you on a Zoom call, I can close you. So it's a very simple way to just give your business a way more professional look for sure. Big fan of it. Big fan of it.
I love that you mentioned the fact that having less availability is actually a good thing, because it plays on the urgency thing that you talked about earlier, which you said is your favorite form of marketing. And I had never thought about it that way, because I personally also limit my availability to like 2 hours Monday through Thursday, and then maybe 3 or 4 hours on Friday, and then I'm not available on the weekends. So it's somewhat limited to an extent, and I'm currently booked out like a month in advance. And I hate it because sometimes there's new people that I'm trying to talk to, or that I want to send the link to connect with, and I want to talk to them immediately because it's something that is urgent. It's like a deal, or it's a new, really something that I just want to talk about almost immediately. And so I'm like, man, I can't send him this link because I won't be able to talk to him for another month. So then I have to schedule it outside of that. But the point of what I'm getting at here is I had always thought that if I was less available, I would close less deals and I wouldn't be able to talk to as many people because I'm less available. And after about 3 Fridays in a row, because Fridays are typically my day off from the W-2 job, of spending 12 hours straight talking with people on the phone, I was miserable. I was like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be on the phone for 12 hours back to back to back. No lunch break, no bathroom break, nothing. Just constantly talking to folks. Yes, I like talking to people, but geez, a brother needs a break, and I needed some kind
Probably
of
had that ice pack on the jaw. You're like,
needed something. And so I started making myself a lot less available, and now I am booked out longer in advance than what I was before. So I think that's a really awesome point that you made there.
Yeah, and it goes hand in hand with something, and I'm sure this applies in your world as well, but be less available and be more expensive, because the two go hand in hand, right? One of the most powerful lessons I've ever learned in business, I worked at CarMax, and at CarMax, if you sell cars, you make the same commission for every car. So you don't care if somebody buys the $8,000 budget car or the most expensive car on the lot. This guy came in one day, told me what he wanted. I used their sales process to qualify him. I was like, all right, let me show you the Jeep Cherokee, right? It meets all your needs. And he's like, no, I'm going to go over here. And I was like, oh, that's the foreign stuff over there. And he's like, I know. And he went right to this Range Rover. I said, okay, I don't care what you buy, but help me understand. It's literally 2.5 times the money of the Jeep. And the Jeep's nice. He said, I want it because it's expensive. And I was like, huh. So what I've learned in business, people like expensive service too, for the fact that it's expensive. So the funny thing about this is you're in one of my lowest ticket programs that I offer. There's nothing wrong with that. But you might be hearing me say this like, this guy obviously doesn't know what he's talking about because he's not expensive. I'm not in this program, but there's more expensive stuff out there. But the less available you are, the more expensive you are, you're going to completely catch the attention of that client that can buy whatever they want. And that's who everybody wants to work with, especially in real estate investing. The person that has enough money at their disposal to do whatever they want, whenever they want. Those people don't say, man, I'm in, except I can't afford it. They never say that stuff. They find a way to make it work. Those are your dream clients for you and for me. So if somebody's like, hey, I got one of these this week. Hey, I've got a big problem. I really need to talk to you today. And it's a day that I have no availability. The thing I tell my wife is their urgency is not my damn problem. And I'm not being heartless. I'm maintaining control over the life I've built. Because if I give in, I'm going to be like you. I'm going to hate every day of my life because all I do is try to make everybody happy. And at the end of the day, all I want to do is jump in front of a bus. You know what I mean? Not doing it, dude. I've done it for years. I'm not doing it. I am going to build this business my way. You should build your business your way, and all your listeners should do the same thing. What is the potential client going to do? Fight me? Fire me? Beat me up? None of that stuff's going to happen.
Okay. I think
set yourself free, brother. We went there.
We took a twist there. I was about to say that you were dropping some bombs, and then you said that I was miserable every day of my life, and I just don't know if that's a bomb.
I said you were? No, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean it that way. I'm saying
I'm just kidding. You
I've
said that,
been there. Yeah, I've been miserable for years because I said yes to everybody. That was my point. If I said that wrong, I apologize.
No, I totally got what you were saying. It was more hilarious than anything because I was just telling you about the Friday thing where I was miserable on the Fridays.
I've done those Friday things like 6 or 7 days in a row for years on end. It's not fun, dude. Because you go, wait, is this any better than I was before? You know what I mean? You start saying, am I any happier than I was working? And then you're like, what am I doing here? So
am I any further along? Did any of these phone calls get me anywhere? And then you realize maybe one did, but how many of these do I need to do in a row before I continue to get further and further? It wasn't worth it. Anyway, moving on into basically the last question I have for you before we dive into this next segment. If any of the listeners out there are listening to this and they're extremely interested in hearing about digital marketing and what's possible, but they just have so many questions, they want to learn more, they have no idea what the heck ActiveCampaign is or how to use it or what the heck an email marketing campaign or any of that stuff. How can they really begin implementing these strategies in their business? Where should they even begin to do so?
Yeah, we could talk about it. So my front porch is intentionallyinspirational.com. That's my business. So if you go there, we can talk about it. I was thinking if I point them towards any kind of a resource, they'll just be more overwhelmed. So I was like, I don't know if this is the plug point or not. So I hesitated there. But yeah, intentionallyinspirational.com. You can jump on a call with me. We can talk about it for sure.
You can learn more about Jason here, who is phenomenal and keeps me laughing.
If you guys are even still watching or listening, we may have lost the whole audience by now.
I don't know.
They're like, stay on track. And I'm like, I can't do it.
Okay. Well, we're actually getting off track now, diving into the next segment of the show, my absolute favorite. This is called our Pod Deck segment. I don't know if you ever heard of Pod Decks, but it's just a company that makes decks of cards.
Okay.
Inside of the decks of cards are utterly and completely random questions.
It's not like Cards Against Humanity. It's about to go X-rated, is it?
No, it's not X-rated. No profanity here. This is strictly just kind of thought-provoking, funny, comical.
I'm excited.
Maybe personal questions, something of the sort. So this is going to be pick card, any card. I'm just going to scroll through this. You're going to pick two, and then whatever the heck the card says, that's the question you get. So tell me when to stop.
Stop. Oh boy, this is fun. I like this.
Sweating in your boots yet?
Negative.
Ghost Rider. All right, first question. I like this question. It's perfect for you. If you could design a new holiday, what holiday would you create and what traditions would it have?
Oh, interesting. Golf holiday. Mandatory 2 rounds of 18 all day for everybody. No work, just golf.
I didn't know you liked golf that much.
Yeah, this is ironic, but we live in a golf course. And when we bought the house, like I didn't golf. I didn't care at all. Then I started seeing people every day. I was like, maybe I should try it. So it's slowly grown on me, but I enjoy it. It's a great way to get away and unplug the brain. So
what are the traditions? You're going to play 2 holes of 18?
2 rounds. Yeah.
2 rounds.
36 holes of golf in a day. Drink some beer. lots of snacks. So just complete leisure and relaxation. No work, no worries. There we go.
It's a holiday. I love it. So it's a national holiday, right? Not like
Oh, yeah,
state
absolutely.
holiday.
And if you don't play golf, well, you just stay in your miserable home all by yourself.
No, you have to go to work. You don't play golf, you have to go to work.
There you go. And the golf courses have to give it to you for free. Free golf.
Ooh, I like that.
But they don't like it. They can sell concessions. There you go.
You can make some money somehow. All right, next question. What do you want to do when you are retired? When you've officially gotten to the point of full automation, I guess, in your business?
I'd probably start a new business. My personality is not one that I can really relax. I don't know that I would ever retire, to be honest with you. If I had complete control over my time and I could just step out of this business altogether, I'd probably just do a ton of traveling, hunt, fish, and golf. That's all I would do.
Hunt, fish, and golf. What kind of hunting you like to do?
All types. So here in central Indiana, southern Indiana, deer, turkey, a little bit of squirrel. I love to go out west and chase all that big stuff out there as well.
Big stuff. See, I've only ever hunted. I hunted duck once, and I've hunted deer a handful of times, but I haven't done anything like crazy. Like some people hunt wild hogs. And
if I lived where you lived, I'd
alligators
be right now. The headphones would just be laying in front of the computer, be like, "Where's Jason? I don't see him anymore."
out in the stand or in the bush somewhere.
Yep.
Cool, man. Awesome. All right. Diving now into the last segment of the show called the Core Four. Same 4 questions we ask every guest. First question, and I might tweak this just a little bit just because you're not deep into real estate. But the first question is, what is your favorite real estate related book? So instead, I'm going to twist it and say, what's your favorite business related book?
I think I'm looking at it now, probably Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And for me, it was so heavy on the mindset, right? It was the book that just made me realize, dude, I've got no limits. The only limit is a belief I have one. And that, for me, mindset is where everything starts in business and everything circles back to, right? So that's probably the one for me that just turned the animal loose inside of me, the entrepreneur for sure. Yep.
I love that book. That book was definitely pivotal. Like it was more mindset than anything. Like, holy cow, I can really do this. This is possible for me. Love that book. All right. Next question. What do you think your unique skill is that helped you become successful?
Easy. Reading people and connecting with people, if that's one skill. So it's something I've always done really well. In the first, 10 seconds of meeting somebody, whether it's video or face-to-face, I read them very quickly and figure out who I'm dealing with and adjust accordingly. So I love it, man. I love reading people. I'm authentic, so I don't try to force myself to get along with anybody or everybody, excuse me, but it definitely makes the business world easier if you know who you're dealing with. I kind of categorize them, what personality they are, so I know what their triggers are. Like my favorite person to sell is somebody like me who's like a high D on the disc scale, right? They don't like ever saying like, I can't afford it or things like that. So I know how to really get under their skin without being rude or trying to get under their skin. So it's a lot of fun. The psychology piece comes into it and it's enjoyable.
All right. I love how you enjoy tweaking that skill, making it better and better. That's the key to success right there.
Yes.
Next question. And I'll tweak this one a little bit too, but tell me something that's true about, typically I say real estate, but tell me something that's true about digital marketing that almost nobody agrees with you on.
I think everybody focuses on it, the broad spectrum in the complete wrong order, right? So most people, when they think about, I want to spend money on marketing, the first thing they think about is ads, right? They think about ads and they think about, I need to change my website, or I need to build landing pages or build a funnel. Then I'll get to that email marketing thing last. Huge mistake, right? If you don't have anywhere for people to go and you don't have a plan on what happens after you meet them or get them, you're wasting a ton of time and money. So I tell people you should be focused on it in the complete opposite way. Start with your foundation, use a program like ActiveCampaign, get some basic email marketing set up, all right? Get a plan together for ongoing communication with your list. These are potential future investors for you, right? Could be some dream clients in there for you, which you'll find more dream clients that bring them to you year over year. And then focus on your website, your landing pages, your funnels. And lastly, you turn the gas up with traffic. Everybody does that backwards. And almost nobody agrees with me. And a lot of times I say that, people, you'll see them think about it. Oh, it actually makes sense, but they just don't admit it out loud.
They're not admitting it. Tragic. All right. Last question. What one piece of advice would you give to our listeners wanting to succeed in entrepreneurship?
So there's kind of a few things. It was just advice I would have given myself a few years ago. One is your timeline doesn't matter. So I used to say, I told my wife the first time I quit corporate, hey, it'll take me 3 months to recover my income of $80,000. She's like, how you gonna do that? I was like, I don't know. I'm just gonna do it. It didn't happen, right? It took me a year and a half to get back to that income level or whatever it was, but the timeline isn't in your control. It could happen faster. Chances are it may happen much slower than you like. So don't focus on that. If you say I have 6 months to make this work, you may not like the outcome. It may work out, probably not. So most people run out of time or money, but be patient with the timeline. And if you say you want success, make sure that when you go to bed at night, you can say to yourself, I actually put it all out there. Because most people that I meet of all ages and all backgrounds talk a big game, but their actions are weak. Oh, I'll do anything to be successful. Yeah, really? Every time I see you, you're playing golf or taking a day off. What do you take so many days off for? You don't do anything. So if you say you want to go after it for God's sake.
Weak sauce. Cool, man. Cool. Okay, Jason, if anyone wants to learn more about you and your business, how can people get in touch with you?
Yep. I think intentionallyinspirational.com is the best way, or they could look me up on LinkedIn. I don't know how to do that. So if you go to my website at the bottom, there's some social links there.
Wait, you said you don't know how to get to your own LinkedIn page?
Well, it's Jason J. Wright, but I just don't remember the URL because I don't ever get it out.
Yeah. I feel you. I don't have that memorized either. I just tell folks my name. Yeah, look me up. I'm somewhere in there.
Yep.
Well, cool, man. I appreciate you coming out on the show. I know this wasn't real estate specific for all the listeners out there, but I hope you guys got a ton out of this, because I don't think I'd be where I am today in real estate investing if I hadn't have incorporated heavily a lot of this digital marketing, the CRMs, the backend automations, the processes, the systems, to really help me be a better communicator, a better salesperson, you could say. I hate to say that it's like sales, but really you're almost always selling. You're always selling yourself, even if it's just trying to create a connection, create a bond, a friendship, a relationship with someone. So appreciate you coming out. I know I got a lot out of it, even though we talk almost every day. I hope everyone else got a ton out of it. And we'll see you soon, man.
Thank you.
Guys, that show was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, after having interviewed Jason, and I also just love his intensity. I love his passion, his desire to not only be better in his business, but also better in his personal life, continue to grow, continue to just not only be better, but do better inside of the marketing, inside of the business, always growing. I also like that he mentioned that marketing is a moving target, because that's something that really stood out to me. I don't know if I really sat back and thought it is a moving target. You know, I can't just set all this stuff up once and think everything's going to be fine a year, 2 years down the road. We're going to have to continue to tweak things. We're going to have to continue to make things better. We're going to have to change the marketing campaign strategy. We're going to have to change something else. And we're going to have to change the way that we're reaching out to folks. And I'm so glad that he mentioned that, because not only has that allowed me a new, better perspective of what to expect, but also I'm going to now be able to go into my CRM, my marketing strategy, and review it. Review what's been working, really looking at all the KPIs that we've been tracking inside of ActiveCampaign, and see where can we be better? What can we do just a little bit differently? He even mentioned that there's a fine line between success and failure. So just tweaking one thing in your strategy could be the difference between you getting no leads, no money, no nothing that month, to thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in profit and connections, and hundreds of thousands of dollars even. You know, these are investors looking to invest in some large deals that you guys got. So I hope you guys got a lot out of this. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple iTunes. That will without a doubt help the ratings here. And go check him out. Go check out Jason, the Intentionally Inspirational. He's been phenomenal for me. He's helped me out a ton, helps me get to where I am today. So this is just yet another shameless plug I'm throwing out to him for you guys to go check him out. So with that, this is Josh Ferrari signing off.